Well, hello, dear sisters and brothers. Welcome to the Faith Perspective here on Catholic SG Radio. I'm Andre Archer, she's Beatrice de Cruz. And the Faith Perspective, actually really gives us an opportunity to look at, trends that are happening in the world, situations that are also happening to people, and events that are happening in the church and outside as well.
Yes. So, did you know that hearing loss is not as uncommon as we think? So according to the World Health Organization, WHO, a person is considered to be experiencing hearing loss if they are not able to hear sound levels of 20 decibels or better in both ears. Now, hearing loss can be mild, moderate, moderately severe or profound, and can affect one or both ears. So hearing loss can be developed over time, like for example, aging or constant exposure to loud sounds, or can even be present from birth.
Right. Now today we have with us Geraldine Wong, and she's going to be sharing with us a very personal journey actually. And as the mum of 2 kids, her younger child Joel was diagnosed with congenital hearing loss. Jerry, thank you so much for coming in and being with us this morning. Can you just share with us a little bit about, your family's journey with Joel's hearing loss?
Morning, Andre and Beatrice. Thanks for having me here.
Not at all.
I think since Joel was born, it's been really tough for us. I think my family and I were not prepared.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this cute little baby placed on my lap, and then the nurses came in and told us, your son has failed the hearing checks. And I couldn't understand that, So she said, oh, maybe it's too much fluid in the ears, So,
right.
But subsequently he went for many other checks and he failed every single one. And then it dawned on us the reality of the situation. It was not too much fluid in the ears. Basically, he couldn't hear. Yeah. So it was really tough for us, and I was really in denial because,
Did you seek for a second opinion?
Oh, we did. We went. We sought. Yeah, I mean, we went to different doctors to
Right.
understand this, and I couldn't accept it for many years. I kept thinking, maybe he'll get better. Maybe the doctors are wrong. Because Joel was still responding to me without the hearing aids. Yeah. So I thought, he could respond to sounds. How is it that, he couldn't? What do you mean by he couldn't hear?
Right.
Yeah. So I think, and at that time, my family and I did lots of things. We were very desperate actually. So we took him to adoration room, the tiny one with my other son. We went to adoration room every day. Can you imagine the 4 of us prostrating and really praying for a miracle? We went for so many healing masses. We went for so many prayer overs. We were looking for a miracle because it's just hard, and to think about his future, Every time I think about his future, I panic and I'm thinking, what does it mean to have hearing loss?
Yeah.
So basically, I went through really the stages of grief. I was in denial. I was angry with myself. I'm wondering, what did I do during my pregnancy?
But why were you angry with yourself?
I was just thinking, what did I do during my pregnancy? Maybe I didn't take care of myself. Maybe something happened. And then I thought, maybe it was my husband's fault. Maybe it's his genes. And of course, after all that praying, and honestly, a miracle did not happen the way I wanted. I was angry with God as well. I was thinking, we were such good and faithful servants. Why did this happen to us?
Right.
And I was angry. I thought, hey, why did God not hear our prayers? Yeah. And after a long time, finally, we've just come to accept that this is what it is, and I know that God has a plan and purpose for Joel, for us, and things usually happen for a reason.
Yeah.
And I told myself to stop playing God, and to just just surrender Joel to God, and I know that God has a plan and purpose for him.
Sure.
God loves him, and I know that things will be okay.
And I'm sure he's been a gift and a bundle of joy as well.
God, Joel is really different. Yeah. I mean, he has brought a lot of joy to our family.
As a medical social worker, I mean, you talk to people about the difficulties that they experience and all of that. Professionally, could you, although as you said at first you found it difficult to accept, but professionally, were you able to reconcile it with yourself in a way?
I think that it's interesting, right? Even though this is my profession, I think I had a lot of pressure on myself.
Right.
I thought that, as a professional in that way, I should be able to accept this. I should know what to do. Yeah. And a large part of me also had a lot of difficulty seeking help. Because it's like I'm a professional, right? I mean, I'm supposed to know what to do.
Yeah.
And it was really hard to look for help.
Right.
Yeah, I think I felt a lot of embarrassment and, interestingly enough, right, and I felt embarrassed and a lot of shame. Seeking help. Maybe it's the stigma. I don't know.
Yeah, but I'm sure you've gotten over that hump, so to speak.
Yes.
Right. And how old is Joel now? He's 12.
He's 12.
Oh, yeah, okay.
PSLE.
PSLE,
right?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow.
Right, so 12 years, it's been a journey, right? And like I said, off air just now, to know that he is going to take his PSLE this year,
I know, right?
that's an amazing thing.
Yes, praise God for that.
Yeah. No, I mean, and he can only do that because he's got you and your husband, and he's got a brother as well, I believe.
That's right, yeah. Joshua is 3 years older than him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And so he's preparing, Joshua is preparing for O levels quite soon, is it?
And that's next year.
Next year. Wow. Wow. It's amazing.
So it's one after the other.
Yeah, exactly. And speaking of the family also, how has, the whole family been able to adapt to the needs of Joel's and to support him also on this very, unique journey of his?
I think we really had to understand Joel. Joel, because of his hearing loss, he also had, he was delayed in his speech as well.
Right.
And what came with it was a huge temper as well. Because he couldn't express himself very well.
Right.
And it was faster for him to get angry.
Yes.
So as a family, we really had to try our best to understand him, because we just tried to understand the few words that he spoke, his body, language and things like that.
Right.
So these were the adjustments we had to make for him, and we also had to manage our own temper, our own emotions,
Yeah.
because he was angry all the time, and it was easy for us to react in an angry manner as well.
Yeah.
So we all had to be really calm and patient.
How did your husband take the situation?
I think my husband is a bit more chill than I am.
Men always put on a brave face.
I see you speak from experience.
We try to put on this chill, but actually inside, we're like,
panicking also.
Yeah.
The duck,
yes, exactly. But trying to look like swans. Yeah. But I mean, but I can imagine that both of you must have had to also talk to each other a lot more, I guess.
I mean, definitely. Unfortunately or fortunately, me being the social worker, I thought I knew a lot. I knew it all. And most of the time when my husband gave feedback to me or he gave some suggestions, I would be like, no, that's not going to work. So we had a lot of exchanges.
Sounds familiar.
So it was actually a very humbling experience. Really taking my husband's feedback, his suggestions, and really working as a team.
Right.
Because I realized that really working as a team to help Joel. He's really calmed down, and he has really progressed, and he has developed pretty well.
Wonderful. So how did Joel and Joshua, communicate, so to speak?
I think initially it was difficult for Joshua, because he was just wondering why his little brother did not respond the way he wanted to. So we had to teach Joshua as well to understand, and to help Joel express himself.
Right.
Right. So, in fact, now actually they get along very well. I mean, they play games together.
Yeah.
And actually, there are times whereby, Joshua actually helps us to understand Joel better.
Really?
Yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful. I mean, at the end of the day, when kids play with each other, they develop a relationship and their own language, so to speak, right?
And also, because he's also young, so he tries to help me to understand what a young person thinks.
Oh,
that's sweet.
Beautiful.
That also makes him, all the more a sensitive person as well.
That's right.
That's wonderful. Wow. So, in a sense, this has been a learning journey for the entire family.
Yes. And it's really interesting because, you think as a parent, you really have a lot of hopes and dreams, and you think that, as a Catholic, you want to bring your kids up in a certain way. You try to mold them in that sort of way. But I realized that along this journey, Joel was actually molding us as well as parents. And I really had to ask myself, what kind of values and did we hold as a family? What was really important to us? I really had to ask myself.
Right, right. And I'm sure, your relationship with your husband as well improved and grew stronger.
We have come a long way.
Yeah. No, as you hit the nail on the head when you said you had to work as a team.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah. That's really the only way to move along. Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been more difficult. Yeah. So praise God for that.
Yeah. Praise God.
Yeah.
Indeed. Well, if you've just joined us on The Faith Perspective, we're speaking with Geraldine Wong. She's a medical social worker and a mother of 2 children. And she has been sharing her family's journey with us when her younger child, Joel, was diagnosed with hearing loss at birth. Now, this year, Joel is 12 years old. And as Geraldine has shared also, he has made remarkable progress, in his speech and academic achievements, and is now preparing for his upcoming primary school leaving examinations. That's the PSLE. So let's delve a little bit into, how Joel's education has been like. And when you were deciding on a school for him, what were your criteria and what were certain factors that you were taking into consideration at that point of time?
Well, the first consideration for us was it had to be a Catholic school. And so I put him in a Catholic kindergarten. That was his brother's kindergarten.
Oh, okay.
And but after a year, we had the parent-teacher meeting, right? And Joel was there with us, and then the teacher suddenly said, she said, "This is the first time I hear Joel speaking." And I was really shocked. I'm like, "You mean all this time he did not speak in school?"
Oh.
Yeah. And then that's where I decided, no, I really need to find a school for him, another school for him. A school that really can help him and understand him and care for him. Yeah. So that's where I stumbled upon the Canossaville preschool. It was called Madeline's Kindergarten back then.
Right, yeah.
It was through a conversation with my colleague. And she said, "Why don't you go and try this school?"
Correct.
And I did, in desperation.
Yeah.
I transferred him. Yeah. And it was really the best decision I've made. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. By chance, or rather, are you by chance a member of any ministry or community? And if you are, has that helped you in your family's journey with Joel?
At that time when he was born, I was with a prayer group.
Mm.
But since I had the kids, it was really difficult.
Right.
Because Joel was quite disruptive. He was angry all the time.
Right.
It was really difficult to kind of bring him for this kind of groups.
Yeah.
But I must say that it laid the foundation for me, to be able to sustain and to really to help. So we didn't take part in any other ministries since. Yeah.
Right. But like you said, I mean, your prayer life, I'm sure, as you said, you built that foundation, and obviously you did more than build your own. I think you built the whole family's foundation with that prayer group. Yeah. But nowadays, you can even call in on Catholic SG Radio and tell, and we will also pray for you, because we do have live intercessory prayers, and indeed today we will remember, to pray for you and Joel and Joshua and your hubby.
Thanks.
We'll do that.
Yeah.
For
I
you.
think that really sustained us. Our family, friends, praying for us. I think that was really, really helpful.
Right.
Coming back a little bit to your experience as a medical social worker, and you were looking for resources and things like that. Do you think there's enough guidance and resources out there, for children and adults who are experiencing hearing loss, based on your experience at that point of time?
I think fortunately, we were with KK at that time, so they helped, us research on some resources, and I did research myself. But honestly, it's not easily available. Right? Yes. So I wouldn't. I mean, there are resources out there, but it's not something that is easily found.
Right. So, do you think the system could help parents with a little bit more, either being a resource themselves and providing resource?
I'm sure more can be done.
Right.
Yeah.
As a medical social worker, would you be able to make any recommendations to those who are,
beginning this journey, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, especially because one of the things that you mentioned also, when you were looking for a school for Joel, which is Catholic education. So then when it comes to like Catholic parenting also and hearing loss, do we have resources like that? Maybe share with us, for those who are on this beginning part of their journey, they are still looking for things that can help the family, that can help their children. What would be some of the thoughts that you have, or advice even for parents who are seeking for resources?
I think, like I was saying, I was actually grateful that I came upon Canossaville. I think this school is really interesting. I mean, it's they really provide children with a great environment to learn to play together. And one of the issues Joel had was he was not very confident.
Right.
And him being in this school, he was the teachers really gave him a lot of opportunities for him to shine, to grow.
That's important.
Yeah, it is. And when you say resource, I'm just thinking about not just the know-how and all that, but really the opportunities.
Yeah.
Like how do you teach kids confidence?
Yeah.
But to give them opportunities to do something so they can be confident.
Correct.
And it's really amazing. I mean, I mentioned just now that Joel wasn't really talking, right, in his previous school. And after a year with the school, he was actually an MC. He was on stage, right, now with a mic, and he was like speaking in Chinese.
Wow.
Not even English, in Chinese.
Wow.
So it's really amazing. Isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
That is fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you talk about miracles, right? I mean, and now that you've shared that he can speak Mandarin as well, because, for instance, I was sharing with you my our journey with my son with dyslexia, right? The minute the MOE certifies the child to be suffering from a certain level of dyslexia, no second language
That's right.
is needed at all. Later on, I mean, if they want to pick it up, they can. But if they're still within the system, the MOE allows the child to do away with that and just concentrate on one language, English for that matter. So, but to think that Joel can speak Mandarin and he speaks English,
That's right. Yeah.
that is amazing.
So Joel is exempted from Mandarin as well in his primary school.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
But I mean, wow.
Yeah.
So I mean, that speaks a whole lot about the school,
That's right.
yeah.
right? And so I mean, that said, right? How do you think more people can get to know that the school is there and that these opportunities are really actually open to as many who go and look for them, I suppose.
Yeah.
I would, okay, I mean, here's where I want to talk a little bit about the Canossian Village.
Sure.
Yeah, they're actually holding an event to raise awareness on ear and hearing care on the 23rd of March,
Right.
Saturday. And this event is actually open to the public and will feature talks and tips by professionals on how to give the best support to children with hearing loss.
Right.
Okay, there will also be sharing sessions by other parents and caregivers who, like me, are on a journey of being there for our children with hearing loss. The event is free, so you can actually register and reserve your seat through the link on their Facebook and Instagram page.
Right.
Very
right.
nice.
I just wanted to ask, I mean, just from your own experience, are there, many children with who suffer from hearing loss? Are the numbers growing, or has it come to a sort of a nominal number, so to speak?
I mean, I honestly don't really have the stats to
Right.
be able to comment on that.
Right.
But the school was built for them, right?
Right.
So that must say something.
And if you don't mind, actually, for families, right, now we have intergenerational families. You have the older folk, and then, of course, you have the family, and then you have the younger ones. If there is hearing loss at the different levels of the family, how do families cope? With an elderly who is suffering, and then you have a younger one who's also, where do they get their resource? Where can they get resources, or who can they be referred to?
I think it's important, that they could go to a hospital to seek some advice, basically to also determine the severity of their hearing loss.
Right.
And of course, there are hearing aids that could support them as well.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be in silence.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think the first step really is to go and get a check.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But that's one thing. But the community, that you've described in Canossaville somehow has given Joel that opportunity to just blossom, right, and grow into the little man that he's growing into.
And I really am very thankful for the school because they not only focus on the academic aspect, right? They also help with character building, with confidence.
It's the whole ethos, isn't it?
Yes, and most importantly is the spiritual aspect as well. So he gets to participate in a lot of activities. At Mass, he does the prayers of the faithful, right? The intercessory prayers. He does the offertory and things like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice. Very nice.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That is amazing. So, dear sisters and brothers, in all situations, there are journeys to be taken. And Jerry, really, thank you so much for sharing, with us that journey that you've had with Joel and Joshua as well, and your hubby, and and working together as a team. I think, wow, you get more than 10 points.
Thanks, Andre and Beatrice, for this opportunity.
Thank you so much. And so Geraldine Wong is a medical social worker, and she's a mom of 2 kids. She shared with us her family's journey with her younger child, Joel, who was diagnosed with congenital hearing loss. And with the support of the family and the Canossian school at Canossaville, Joel has built his confidence, has made progress, and he's going to take his PSLE this year. He speaks Mandarin as well.
Yeah.
So all that is amazing stuff already. So if you know us, if you are in a situation, or if you know someone who's got a family member who has hearing loss, I guess Canossaville is the place to get in touch with.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So they're having this community event, as Geraldine has shared. It's on 23rd of March. So, from our conversation also, you would know now that hearing loss is actually not that uncommon. And it can affect anyone of all ages. So why not find out a little bit more information at this community event happening on 23rd of March. So you can find out more on their Facebook and Instagram, and even sign up for the event that's happening on 23rd of March from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. So then there you can also gain some new perspectives and professional, opinion on certain things. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yes. So if you're catching us now on our live stream for the Faith Perspective, Faith Perspective goes out every fortnight on Tuesday mornings at 8:30 a.m. The encore, if you want to catch this, is at 8 p.m. again tonight, and tomorrow at 5 p.m. Thursdays also, we are playing at 2:10 p.m. If you'd like to catch up on this interview and many others at your own time, you can listen to our podcast that is on our Catholic SG radio app, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts.
And you can also catch us on the Archdiocese YouTube channel.
That's right.
All right. Yeah. So look out for that. That's the time we have. I'm Andrea Chuck. She's Beatrice de Cruz. She's Geraldine. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.